Good evening. Hope everyone's having a good night. It's Thursday, June 10th. Today we are starting a new series on the stream where we're going to actually write a horror movie, and you guys are going to help me. And we're also going to help me face some of my fears, or at least a phobia I've had my whole life, which we're going to talk about. First, check this. Okay, my buddy made me this intro. I actually meant to play it first before I popped up, but what are you going to do about it? Anyway, this is so cool. Yeah, it's MTV logo mixed with the HBO. Super cool. You're amazing, my buddy Blake. Thank you. So yeah, welcome. First, I wanted to say happy birthday to my buddy Gary. It's his birthday. Happy birthday, Gary. I love you. Jillian, happy birthday to you. Your birthday was yesterday. I love you. Hope you guys had a great day. And actually, while we're getting started, the first stuff I got to show is this is like the behind the scenes of the promotional video we made to promote this new series that we're doing. And it's literally, I just splashed water on top of a piece of paper. That's about as simple as it is. But I shot it in 120 frames per second. So it looks a little cooler than normal speed. And yeah, just did that a bunch of times in a row. I actually did not intend on this on the last shot, then the one that I ended up using, I did not intend for the paper to rip and it create that really cool look, but I think it was really fitting for this type of screenplay. It's a violent. I thought that was a violent image of the paper ripping and stuff. It's also kind of cool that my name rips off, and what would have been really clever, and I thought of this after the fact, so 2020, but here's the one we used. So I could have made it, once my name gets ripped off, it would have been cool if it said "and you," because that would have been a really cool way to promote what we're going to be doing here, which again, I'm hoping everybody will be able to contribute in some way to this as we're writing it. Even though tonight, to be honest, I mean, a lot of what we're doing tonight, what did I do in Final Draft? It's having me save. Hang on a second. This is good that it's having me save. If I did not have auto save on, probably would have lost some screenplays by now. Which is good. So we're going to get that saved now so we don't lose all our progress. But we're going to get to the actual writing in a minute. A couple background items to go over before we get started with the actual business at hand. But a lot of this tonight is going to be background stuff, developing, helping, or explaining how I hope this develops and how we're going to go through the step-by-step of this whole process. So firstly, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you don't know what submechanophobia or submechanophobia is, because I don't think it's a very well-known phobia. I mean, I've had it my whole life, more or less, and I didn't know there was a name for it. I thought it was just, I was just a strange person. That's how you feel when you don't know what's going on. And I didn't have a name for it until I actually came across the Reddit. There's a whole subreddit for submechanophobics like myself. And this really opened my eyes to the fact that there's a lot more people out there with this same type of phobia. And I think it's very interesting to me, obviously, personally, but also obviously there's other people that are interested in this as well, or are afflicted by it at least. So if you go on the subreddit, I mean, this is like, for me, a lot of this is like nightmare fuel, and check some of these things out. So for me, first of all, submechanophobia, mechanophobia, anything man-made underwater is scary to people with this phobia. That's the general idea behind it. But for me, it's really more restricted to mechanical things. Like some people are scared of statues. Like if you go on this subreddit, like you can see here, um, this is like a picture of a statue. That doesn't really get me. That does not hit me very well. This little underwater ship, the ship itself doesn't. The propeller really would, because the propeller's underwater. I don't think so. Okay, so but this was interesting. I just saw this as I was getting ready. This style of drain in large pools is where it all started for me. That is exactly where it started for me too. The drains in pools are extremely scary to me. And that stems from the fact that as a child, I was literally told that the drain can suck you under and kill you. And so it was always like, I'm staying, 10 feet away. I'm not even going in the deep end. I'm not going near that thing. And it's definitely not touching my foot. Um, I think that's where it all started. But like, even like the light in the pool, the actual pool light, that really scares me. It's still to this day when I see a drain in a pool or a drain underwater just in the pool and the light in the pool, I do get a sense of fear. And my whole life, I've actually always, once I realized that it was kind of an irrational fear, I really started to just force myself to go near. Like I'd go near the light and I would touch it, and I'd go near the drain and I'd touch it, or I'd sit down at the bottom of the pool and just sit there with it. But I was scared the whole time, and it never went away. And even though I know there's really no danger, from what I understand, drains in pools do not function the same way that they used to when they used to be able to kill people. Um, but I'm not going to trust that. I'm not going to trust my life to that. Um, so let's see. Am I peaking? Is my audio good? How do I sound, y'all? Whales in deep water. See, that's okay. Yeah, I was talking about this with somebody. What's up, Dylan? By the way, um, I was talking to somebody the other day about this. How even like put me in a big tank of water with a shark, and it's like, hang on, let me get my audio adjust. I think it's a little loud. I don't know if I'm peaking. I actually have audio levels here. That's cool. Used to my PlayStation, or at least I stream from my PlayStation as well, and I've not gotten this pumped through OBS. I'm kind of a new streamer, so all my setup is getting worked out. This is the first time I've actually had video on, which is kind of a big step for me, at least. Don't judge my background. This is nothing. This is not set up. Don't judge me, please. I'm in black and white because I have no tan, and I'm not going to be ridiculed for that. And sorry, I look like a mess. Booked a haircut, but it got rescheduled. It's a Bo Burnham reference right there. And that's also why I'm wearing a hat. When I was starting to watch streamers, it was like everybody was wearing a hat or a beanie or something. And I was like, man, so many people wear hats. And then I kind of realized that it's like, well, yeah, why the fuck would you want to have to deal with your hair every day on top of the content that you're trying to do, on top of thinking about what you got to say? And it's like, yeah, so I'll wear a hat. And plus, it's a Wayne's World hat. It's pretty cool. I have a lot to say about Wayne's World. We're going to get to that in another episode. But needless to say, submechanophobia, any mechanical thing or any man-made object underwater. Again, for me, it's more about moving things. Check this out, by the way, too. Okay, I don't go on this subreddit very often. I don't like feeling this way, so why would I, right? But there's a story down here. Okay. I don't know if you saw the tag that I put on my video. I think it was tagged it on Instagram. I tagged the video as Bruce the Mechanical or Bruce the Puppet Shark. Yeah, this thing scares me more than a real shark would. That's what I was getting at when you said, yeah, party on Wayne, party on Garth. When you said Freya is scared of the whales, it's like, dude, whales have a choice. They can decide not to hurt you, right? Mechanics underwater, they do not have any choice. They're gonna, if you get stuck in a gear and pulled, you're gonna get pulled under no matter what. And I tagged Bruce the Mechanical Shark in my video because that shark scares me more than a real shark would. And when I go on the Universal Studios tour, or when I haven't been there for a long time, but when I do go on the Universal Studios tour, nothing is scary except when I'm looking down at the water and I can see that mechanical shark moving and the gears. You can see like the hydraulics and the gears and stuff underwater. No. Okay. And this guy, listen to this, dude. Jaws ride at Orlando, Florida, drained. Ride was closed down because man fell off the boat, plunged into the 10-foot deep water, coming face to face with one of the mechanical sharks, almost sucked up into the railing that the sharks roll on. Holy goodness. No. No. Again, nightmare fuel, dude. I mean, that was the vision I had in my, like, I've never heard of that happening. That's just like, I've imagined it happening and now it has happened. So, and I mean, I'm thankful this person did, I guess it didn't say if he didn't get hurt, actually. Doesn't say anything about his or this person's condition. Wait, it said man. Yeah, he's a dude. It's a man. It says man. But it's just such nightmare fuel. So I won't go on here. But if you want to read more into this and get other people's perspective on it, which is good, check out the Reddit, the Submechanophobia subreddit, because you will see exactly what I'm talking about. So that's been my life, like everything underwater, or most of the mechanical stuff. But that's been my phobia throughout life. And it to this day, again, scares me a lot. So when I talk about facing my fears, that's what I want the screenplay to be about. Somebody dealing with submechanophobia, and facing their fears. So that's kind of the generalized. That was the first idea. That was the first concept that popped in my head, was just somebody who has submechanophobia, and they're gonna have to face it in whatever way. And that's where my concept started, the first idea in my head, and I've been building it from there. Obviously, I've probably thought about this a lot over the years, but just getting started writing it, and I think this is gonna be a really fun way to do this. This isn't a serious movie. It is personal, but it's not. It's gonna be fun. The whole point is for it to be fun, violent horror movie. It's gonna be. We're gonna fill seats. Talking about summer blockbuster. A lot of money. Planning on getting. The plan is to get Universal and I'm thinking, I don't know, Warner Brothers in like a bidding war for the screenplay. I mean, that's what most of the screenplays I've written they're all tied up in bidding wars between all the major studios. Just kidding. So yeah. You should understand now what submechanophobia is. If you don't, again, go to that subreddit, check that out, because you'll get there's plenty of stories on there, and you'll probably get a sense of it if I didn't explain it too well. Do you want to know more? Then go to the subreddit. So I am a filmmaker, and I have made plenty of films in my day, plenty of horror movies as well. I was working on a lot of stuff in high school. These are some of my high school films. Always violent. I mean, I don't know why. Something's really fun about making people look like they're getting destroyed. I don't know. It's just a fun thing to try to do. A lot of these videos, I might share like the full length videos here at some point, but plenty of cool stuff in there. And here is actually the first real horror movie that I would have written and directed and shot and all that good stuff. Bo Burnham, eat your heart out, dude. Been doing it for years. Think you're impressive. Okay, you are. Yeah. Watch that movie, by the way. Inside. Oh, it's like the talk of the town. And I actually watched it. I actually watched something. That's big for me. So anyway, this is a horror movie I did, a zombie movie. I want to do I'll do like a whole making of this maybe sometime if people are interested. I don't know. But there's a whole long story about this short film that I made, again, in high school I think this was for my film production class. But I would always, I actually would use different movies that I'd make for like multiple projects, which I think is fair. I mean, do you know how much work goes into one one thing, one movie you don't. I mean, you maybe you do know. You should know. If you're watching this, I'd hope you know because I'd hope that this would be a stream full of people that are also interested in filmmaking. That would be ideal. Um, and so this was just my first experience in making a horror movie myself. That is writing, directing, shooting. This is my buddy Dylan acting right here. Hunger for Flesh. Yes, it was called Hunger for Flesh. I might not let this whole thing play out. Let's see how long I get talking about it. Um, Nothing. I'm gonna probably those. I don't know if you caught the beginning of these clips, but the war movie I made. I'm gonna plug this real quick. I'm doing like a whole re-edit, remix, adding special effects. Gonna do a couple additional scenes for that war movie. There's a couple clips you saw at the beginning of this little thing, and that'll be a stream. We're gonna do that all on the stream. That's gonna be really fun. But I'm gonna plug that now. Um, Here he goes. He's coming alive, dude. Oh no, don't go too low. Don't put your hand too low. Oh no, he's coming to life. Basically, this movie was about a scientist developing a cure for death. And then he realizes that what he did was not was not okay because he's reanimating life and they become cannibals once they've been reanimated and he's got to fight them off. Or actually, he doesn't have to fight them off. Well, he does. Well, he doesn't really fight him off. I mean, look, this guy he's happy, content with that one bite that he got, I guess. Um, uh, but he makes, in this movie, he makes the serum that reanimates people. And then he realizes that he can't let this work, can't let this work out because it's too dangerous. So he here he is destroying his creation. And then he has to just kill himself too because he can't let his knowledge, even though he left all his notes. We probably should have shot maybe a scene of you burning all those pieces of paper, but whatever. To be honest, we like rushed through. I could tell a long story about this. We actually rushed through the production on this a little bit, and we missed shooting some stuff, like a lot of things I end up doing. So anyway, making a lot of those movies as a kid, really fun. And my mom actually is an actor, and she was working on a production around this time. I don't know. I forget if some of these probably came first and then this one came after. I'm gonna be weird about the timeline. All I know is that when I was in high school, my mom was working on this movie. These are some stills that I took from this movie called Kill House that I also worked on. It was the first production I ever worked on, feature-length production. I was in high school. I actually dropped out or took a leave of absence to work as a PA on this movie, which was a great experience. And I ended up doing a lot more. They actually put me in the movie. I ended up acting in the movie, which was a very good experience. I'm not much of an actor personally. It's not really what I want to do, but I'm into it. I mean, I think it's a necessity for filmmakers to have a pretty good understanding of acting and what goes into it and what an actor would want from a director and things like that. That's one area of film that I'm still getting my head wrapped around, is really directing actors. I've been focusing on the craft of just making the shots look the way they want to be shot, and telling the story how I want to tell it visually, and getting into the real nitty gritty details about directing an actor. That's something that's a work in progress, or probably always be a work in progress for me. But being an actor is very important, or knowing how to act is very important. And I wanted to mention some of these people. I do have the IMDb cheat sheet popped up here so I can spout off some names. This is the writer-director, Beth Dewey. Worked with her on several projects. Great person. The special effects artist, Hugo. Really cool guy. He let me help him out with at least some of the stuff. I think I was, as a PA, you kind of do everything. And on this particular production, I was helping out in every way I possibly could. But anyway, Hugo Villasenor. I hope I pronounced your name right, Hugo. I'm sorry. I haven't seen him since this production. DP Dale Obert. Dale's a really cool guy. I helped him light a little bit, more like just like put that light on that stand over there. Beth, this actor, let me make sure I won't dig into I'm sorry. I'm not going to say everybody's name. There's Shepard Stevenson in the background in our ship. Really fun production to work on for a first time filmmaker, budding filmmaker. Really fun to work on. And, working on a lot of different films until like this, little short things, until my buddy, a couple friends of mine wrote another zombie movie. I'm going to play the trailer for that right now, which we called The Infected. It has never been released, much to my chagrin. Real hunger for flesh. Donald actually just bit me. Yeah, I know. So we worked on this production for a while, and so many production issues, and it's gonna be like we're gonna do at some point, hope to do like a behind the scenes making of, or that's my plan, to do like a making of The Infected, because I think there's some cool stuff in there, and we definitely got some good footage. I mean, we basically put all the coolest stuff, all the coolest shots, all went into this trailer. So what you're seeing is probably all the coolest moments, essentially, that we have. Although that's not true, because we shot some stuff after we cut this trailer, I'm pretty sure, and we got some interesting things that we have not done anything with. Didn't even add a lot of that content to the edit that we had. There is a bit of an edit out there. At least some of it's edited together, and we're gonna work on that. That's another project, another potential project that we can work on. Or do on the stream here, potentially. We will see. I was actually really happy with a lot of the stuff we got. Blake, Dylan, you guys are awesome producers, writers, directors. You guys are amazing. I actually only shot. I was the cinematographer on this project. I did not direct. I did not write. My buddy Dylan and Blake did that. Great friends of mine, great peeps. So that's a little bit of my background with filmmaking in general and horror specifically. My horror background. I probably made a couple other. I actually have. Yeah, I know. I've made a couple other little things that maybe I'll share, but I didn't have anything to put into this presentation tonight. So a lot of this will probably go over. Some of this stuff again. I mean, Kill House, that movie. I could do an entire, lecture about working on that and how amazing it was and the people I met and all that, which I will do at some point, I hope, but just a general background of that. So what do we want to do here? What's the actual, what are we going to do? Let me lay out what I want this to be and how I hope this is going to go. I'm going to write, gave you the basic concept. I'm going to give you the basic concept of this tonight. We're just going to lay out really bare bones storyline, characters, that kind of stuff. Really simple. And then I hope, on future broadcasts, if this is interesting to anybody, maybe I'll never do this again. I don't know. I think this is really cool. But if no one else does, then I'll just write on my own again, whatever. But ideally, we're going to work through the screenplay. We're going to write the entire screenplay. I would love to. I've never registered a screenplay before, so I'm hoping to, if we get to that point, register the screenplay, walk through that process together, and then maybe try to shop this around somewhere and see what we can do. I think that would be a fun process to watch happen and get updated with and be a part of. And hopefully we can do that. And I have a bunch of fun stuff in between the beginning and end of this new series. I hope to collaborate with some other people on Twitch that, deal with this kind of stuff. My buddy Dylan is a writer. I'd like him to come in at some point and give his notes on the story structure. He's much more well educated than I am. So I trust his opinion on basically everything. And I'm also going to trust that he's going to give me, dude, Lost in La Mancha. Yes, Dylan. Holy crap. That's such a good documentary. Dylan's also he's better at grammar than me, so don't make fun of my grammar. If my grammar sucks, just know we're gonna correct it. Any writing we do, this is all gonna be the first draft. which is just going to be so quick and dirty and non-distinctive. Like, we're going to use really bare bones language, really bare bones dialogue. That's the way I like to start a writing session. Just super simple. Yeah, I hope people are interested in following along with this process. I hope it's interesting. I don't know anybody else that has done something like this yet. If there are people that do stuff like this, I'd love to know how other people are doing this and see what other people do and what they've done with this kind of format. If anybody knows that, let me know. I would love to know that. So the first thing we're gonna do, create the title page, of course. Submechanophobia. Submechanophobia. I'm actually getting better at spelling this. I'm okay at spelling. I might be dyslexic or something. Big words. My head gets it looks really gobbledygooked up in there, based on, if any, my life. No, just kidding. My phone number. I actually did not want whatever. You guys can call me. Who's gonna call me? No one's gonna call me. Title page done. Look at that. That's like half the battle. We're like 50% done with the screenplay, guys. Jeez, you guys are awesome. Just kidding. So a little trick, by the way, which I don't know. They might have fixed this. A while ago, there was no way to create a treatment in Final Draft. You couldn't create a template, a treatment template. You always had to use their treatment template and then delete all the stuff out of there. And there was kind of a workaround. But anyway, my workaround, what I do is I just start a actual screenplay document, and then I just use this as the treatment and just start formatting it into the screenplay after I've created the complete treatment or whatever. So this isn't really going to necessarily be the screenplay. This is going to be, this is going to be the screenplay, but right now we're just going to do really bare bones laying out a little bit of the details of this project, or of this story, the characters and all that. So let's just, the basics of the story real quick. And we'll write this down. We're going to use a very simple 3-act structure, which everybody knows that means that there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. That's 3-act structure. I'm kidding. This is not a screenwriting lesson. This is not a Final Draft lesson. This is not a Final Cut lesson. This is just writing and having fun. So please do not look at this as me trying to tell you this is how you write, this is how you use Final Draft. I'm probably doing a million things wrong. And in fact, if I am, let me know. You can tell me. You guys are allowed to send me messages and comment in the comments and say, that's not how that's supposed to be formatted. In fact, I'm probably really rusty with actual screenplay formatting. I don't work professionally as a screenwriter, meaning like I have never written something and sold it in terms of a screenplay. I have written and directed things, and maybe portions of things that I've written became a project that I got paid for or something. But like, I would never say that I'm a professional screenwriter, and that you should look at this as a lesson or a how-to. This is not that at all. Just merely a collaboration between two good Samaritans. So that being said, again, do not look at this as a lesson in any way. And if I do wrong stuff, you can tell me. Man, if some professional screenwriter came in here, man, give me hints, dude. How did you make it? How did you break it? What happened? But anyway, super basic 3-act structure. I'm kidding. I won't even try to just explain. I'll probably butcher the explanation of what 3-act structure and laying out. Yeah, I'm not. No. We're just doing an outline right now. So forget that. What is the basic story outline going to be? What I do know is that our hero character is actually going to be suffering from, let's get this a little bigger. He's going to be suffering from submechanophobia. Of course, that makes a lot of sense. The entire storyline basics is going to be somebody has submechanophobia, they face their fears, and maybe they overcome their fears Or maybe we save that for the sequel. Boom, franchise. I just gave you guys the answer. That's how we're making our money. But anyway, our hero character, and that again, just basics. Characters actually here. Let's do this first. Characters, and I'm probably gonna spell crap wrong, dude. If I'm on the spot trying to spell, don't even. Aristotle once said, "All stories must have a beginning, a middle, and an end." Yeah, I side with Stottle, with Mr. Stottle on that one. Again, also thanks for being here, guys. I know it's late. 10 o'clock is actually a pretty significant time for me. It actually goes. I'm pretty sure. I shouldn't say this now. I wanted to fact check this, but I'm pretty sure Wayne's World in the movie starts at 10 p.m. So that's kind of significant for me. But at the same time, it's probably not the optimal time to stream. So the time and stuff, it's not necessarily always going to be this. So just keep that in mind. So our characters, what do we want? What do we know we want to have? Our hero, of course. And again, this is, you can see the quick menu came up because I am in the screenplay document here, but we're not really going to use that. So, and maybe that might mess me up, but we'll see. So our hero character suffers from submechanophobia. That's really all that I need that person to have. That's the main thing. Other than that, and this is where I hope we can all collaborate, is like, okay, so who is this person? Like what's their background? Vertigo. Oh, I should. Yeah, no, I definitely have seen that. And yes, it's very good. This is where I think, everybody will hopefully be able to contribute. Like, do we want him to be a veterinarian? Do we want him to be a fireman? Just like Collateral. Arnold Schwarzenegger in Collateral as a fireman. How cool is that? And he knows how to murder people too in that movie, if interesting ways. He might have been like an ex-military or something, which also, maybe this guy's ex-military. Maybe he has maybe for all intents and purposes, he should be brave and not scared of anything, but this one little thing. I think that's kind of a cool concept. So maybe let's do like military firefighter question mark, something like that. And then in my mind, another character that really is going to be important is the sidekick, or I already actually know that basically I want the main character, to be helped through his fear, or like the movie starts with the character being brought to, and I'm going to get to actually where they're being brought to, but they have a friend, or in my case, I don't know why, like a sibling is what is really coming to mind for me. Is this person is going to be helping them through this and maybe trying to push them to face their fears a little bit. And I'm just going to call them the sidekick right now. Again, it might be a sibling or something. And their whole purpose is helping hero through phobia. Boom. Done. Let's look at this, dude. We're already like 50? I said 50%, so we're like 55% done with the screenplay now. Wow. Just kidding. And again, I'll go into the story in a second, but it's characters. And then, okay, I don't know why in horror movies, I always love it when there's like older generations of the family or something in there that somehow managed to survive all the horrors despite being weak and old. So, and like, I just already know that I'm going to want, like, maybe their parents are with them. So old or elderly, let's say elderly family members who somehow survive. And that's gonna be basically our main group of the heroes group is going to be those people, and maybe we'll probably add more characters, take some away. Who knows? Again, we're just getting the basics out of the way. And then obviously, Submechanophobia is kind of the real villain. That is the antagonist in a way, but I already know, again, the basic storyline I pretty much want. Maybe we'll shift it. Maybe we will. Maybe you guys will tell me something that I want to change. Maybe I'll change that. Maybe I won't. Who knows? But for now, the storyline I see is that the hero is being brought by their sidekick to a water park. And this water park is going to be run by the actual personified villain, who's actually going to be kind of like this evil Walt Disney theme park owner guy who's crazy and unbeknownst to our hero and sidekick and their family and their followers. This water park is designed to murder people, and all the rides turn into murder machines. And one big thing that I know I want in here, and we're going to get to that, but I'll say it now, but I know that I want a wave pool, because the wave pool at water parks is actually very scary to me, because there's something at the end of that pool, and it just crushes. It's just there to like crush, So that, like, getting sucked into that and getting crushed by that is a big, I know I want that scene in the movie. So I actually know it's going to be a water park that these people are going to. And again, maybe in future, maybe if we do multiple installments of this franchise, maybe we'll find some other cool water related things. I'm very scared of dams. Actually, I should have had that I had meant to bring in a diagram of a dam to show you what scares me about a dam and what I would hope, or what I would fear happening to me if I was thrown over into the water of a dam and then sucked into it. So I meant to do that, but whatever. So, but maybe that's another location for another potential Submechanophobia 2 or something like that. So anyway, our villain, Delane, the villain, former Navy SEAL diver. Yeah. Oh, dude. Okay. Yes, Dylan. Ugh, such a genius. Yes. And here's why that's cool. I literally had a line in mind. If he was a Navy SEAL diver, it'd be like, dude, how the hell did you get through BUDS? BUDS is the Navy SEAL training program, basic underwater demolition school, BUDS. And yes, like, I've seen the videos that I've watched, the entire documentary about BUDS training. Really, really interesting to watch. First of all, the whole thing's on YouTube, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so the line would be like, how the fuck did you make it through BUDS if you have submachinophobia? And because in that documentary, you watch them, they have to like plant, in training, obviously, plant plastic explosive on a underwater ship to disable it. That's like something a Navy SEAL would be, that's a mission that they would be going on, is we need to take out this oil tanker or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a Navy SEAL. If you're a Navy SEAL, let me know what kind of mission that would be, planting explosives on a ship to disable it. I don't know if they're actually supposed to be putting it on to destroy the ship completely or just knock it out in the BUDS train. I don't know exactly. That's, again, if you're a Navy SEAL, would love to know about that. So yeah, Dylan, that's actually, let's put that in parentheses next to military. Navy SEAL. Yeah, that's a good one, man. Great minds, my friend. Again, our villain is going to be, he is going to be the owner of the water park. So theme, or let's say water park, not a theme park. Water park owner, creator, whatever. Evil Walt Disney type. Oh God, I can spell Disney right. Is that how you freaking? Why is it not spelled right? Am I not spelling that right? Oh goodness. Here's the thing. I learned to write on a piece of paper, not really on a keyboard, and the font on sometimes the font just like really gets to me. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell Disney. Am I being an idiot? Somebody help me out. That's whatever. Disney. I'm not gonna think about that. Again, it's like it's pretty nerve wracking. Like when you're on the spot, like, oh, how do I spell this? Parker owner, water Parker owner. No, that's not right. At least Final Draft tells you. Like, see, like what did I ruin? What did I not spell? I don't. Whatever. Okay, again, I'm gonna spell stuff wrong. We'll go back. First draft. I don't care. I'm just trying to just shoot this thing out, rattle it off. I have actually never finished I don't think I've ever finished a feature length screenplay. All the things which to me, again, finishing, like I probably have feature length screenplays, but like never through the entire production of a feature length film have I done a full writing, directing, producing, whatever. Never done that. So, a little bit of a first here. And getting this done quick, I think, is a good, again, at least the first draft, really quick. And another thing, I might not necessarily only write on the stream because it might take me time to think about stuff, and I don't want to sit here. I mean, the good thing is that if I needed other ideas, again, I can go to the audience and say, "Well, what do you guys think about this? What should we do here? How should this go?" And then you guys can throw out ideas. But I'm probably going to do, as I think of things, I probably will make adjustments, write dialogue, things like that off the stream. So it's not necessarily we're going to do 100% of this entire thing on the stream. So that's our characters, by the way. That's all I really need in terms of the main characters. And again, we might add more friends. We are going to need a lot of people to die. So we need a lot of people in the film, but we don't necessarily need to spend time developing those characters, so they might not necessarily be main characters, or at least not even associated with the main characters. Like maybe there's other families at the water park that we kind of follow, and then they're the ones that get eaten up by all the stuff, or like sucked under. Oh, it's getting sucked under. That's like the real deal. And see, here's where it being in screenplay format might mess me up. Is that it's just going to be hard to, but that's fine. So what's the basic storyline now? Let's go just the basic storyline. What's the beginning? What's our beginning going to be? Pretty easy. Character intros. Actually, you know what? Before that, here's definitely one thing. I'm all about ICDs. Dylan knows all about ICDs. Interest creating devices. So we want like a first scene that's really going to establish the tone and maybe get our viewers interested in what's happening. So I'd say the first thing we would do is like intro death scene, like an intro death scene. Somebody maybe trapped in the water park or trapped in some sort of death mechanism that is built at this water park. And maybe at first we don't know that that's the water park. And at the end of this intro death scene, it'll be like a reveal that it is actually a water park that they're at, which would then lead us into, let's see, okay, intro death scene, water park reveal. Let's just say that for now. And then that would go into the main character or the characters' intros. Like maybe we get a small taste of the, in that intro scene, maybe get a small taste of the villain or like a small little piece. You got to know that somebody's pulling the strings behind the scene, and then that person is like, oh, who's that, right? So we might show him. Maybe he'll be the one that like pulls the lever that crushes the person. I don't know. Again, we'll get into the details right now. Let's just lay out real basics of all this stuff. So then we're going to get into our main character intros, which in my mind, they could be showing up or maybe in the car on the way to the water park, or, again, they're just waiting in line to get into the water park and they're talking. And again, maybe that's where that line of how the fuck did you get through buds if you're scared of all this stuff. Um, the trick is to always be afraid. Uh, that's actually not a bad quote. A little bit of a Lawrence of Arabia / I know that quote from Prometheus because Michael Fassbender says it. He like repeats it anyway. Or the trick is to always, or not caring that it hurts, I think is the quote. Whatever. Don't quote me on my quotes that I'm quoting from other movies that other people are quoting, please. I'm just not going to remember. So our main character intros, and maybe let's say like water park intro as well, because maybe that would be where we do, showing the rides, how they would function, showing them functioning as normal rides with maybe some small foreshadowing hints about how the mechanisms are going to change on those rides to become killing machines. Really cool. We're definitely doing something like that Jaws tourist thing now, dude. That's going to happen. I'm going to say that right now. There's a couple key scenes that I know those have to be in there. And that's actually, it's going to help us because we're going to just fill in the blanks. We're going to put in all the stuff we know we're going to have, and then we're just going to fill in the blanks between all that kind of stuff. So yeah, main character's intro, water park intro death scene, water park reveal, main character. Oh wait, yeah, water park reveal, so that it's the water park, and then the intro of the water park again will be, while it's actually in operation, operating properly, nobody getting murdered, nobody flying off of a slide. That's actually something. Those big slides, dude. I mean, those aren't even underwater, but anyway, a lot of potential. People just getting launched out like into the air. I don't know. Interesting ways for people to be murdered, which is, again, I think that'll be a fun thing. Maybe we'll do some like polls, let people vote on like how characters can die and things like that. It's going to be really fun. But if anybody thinks of any really interesting ways, water park, um, rides that you can think of a great way for that person to die, or for a person to die at a water park, let me know. I'm open to all ideas. Let's close this title page. So, main characters intro, right? Water park intro. They'll have their like fun at the park. Let's say fun at park with foreshadowings going on in there. Gotta have foreshadowing, man. Come on. Think I'm a rookie? Mac 10 ain't no rookie. I guess that kind of could go into, I mean, that's part of the water park intro, but whatever. We just know we want a nice little montage or something of them at the water park doing fun things, again, with some foreshadowing in there. And next thing that's going to happen is just all hell's going to break loose, right? At the water park, all the rides, maybe there's like, it's almost like a Transformers, like I'm picturing these mechanisms or whatever shifting underwater, like to become the more dangerous version of that same thing, like instead of the suction being low on the drains and stuff, the suction becomes really strong. Or like, again, the wave pool is one thing I know I want in there. Like the wave pool water, like maybe the suction starts to, or they like reverse the flow of the water or something, and everybody starts getting sucked in, and people trying to swim away from this big crushing machine. Horrific. So let's say park transforms. Also, my keyboard's in a weird spot. Everything, like I said, my studio this is all just last minute, or not even that last minute, because even this simple setup that I have going on, it's a lot of work. And I'm actually building an actual nice studio backdrop type thing for the future. But I wanted to see, well, I can't really see you guys, but I wanted you to see me, to know that I'm a real person. And this is a big step for me, honestly. Just being on camera and having the camera set up is pretty big for me. So it was a big step getting that camera up. So I know it doesn't look the best. I know I don't look the best. I'm in black and white again because I don't want to hear about how white I am. I have not seen the sun. I've been staying inside. There was a bit of a pandemic happening, so I stayed inside. I don't know if you guys heard about that. Anyway, The park transforms, and carnage ensues. Did I spell that right? Ooh, looks like I did, dude. Doctor Ensues here. Um, and then it's gonna be carnage. Let's just say death montage. That everybody getting again sucked into the drains, cut up by underwater turbines. Again, a huge. That's like the big thing for me is like turbines and propellers underwater. Just the worst, dude. Again, I was talking about earlier. Lock me in a big tank of water with a shark. No biggie. Like, I mean, I'd stay away from the shark, and I might be on high alert, but I will not panic. I will not literally be overcome with a sense of panic in the same way I would if you put me in a tank and there was a giant rotating blade mechanism, like a turbine or something on one end, and I'm staring at it. And if I feel the suction, like feel the current sucking me towards it, oh my God. No, no. Oh, thanks, D. You look great too. Although I can't see it, but I know you always look good, man. They're beautiful man, beautiful family. Which love to the family, by the way, my friend. So we're gonna do Carnage ensues, death montage, and the next for sure step in this storytelling process is going to be our hero character having to face these fears. That's what this is all about. So after all this carnage is happening, let's just say, first of all, death montage, and then let's just say hero and followers. Again, we don't know, how many people there's going to be. Followers escape the carnage somehow. Again, we don't know how that's going to happen. This is all going to be developed in the future, but we know that there maybe one of them, like, again, there's probably maybe, like, again, the sidekick has a friend, they get killed or something during that. There's got to be something that's really going to kick them in the nuts and make them really scared. So, but it's not going to be the elderly family members that die again, or at least not all of them. I think that might end up being like a recurring theme in at least the horror stuff. For some reason, in every horror thing that I've written, because I do have more horror stuff that I've written. Just like, if you're like me, the way you get screenplays produced is you leave them on your hard drive and you never share them and you never talk about them. And you hope that somebody comes up to you and says, hey, you look like you wrote a screenplay. You want to produce it? I'll give you $1 million. That's my hope. It hasn't worked out. So, anyway, character, we're going to have more characters, probably add more characters, take characters away. Oh yeah, and in these horror movies, I definitely always have these older people that survive. I don't know why that's interesting to me. I think it's more like you're expecting them. Oh, hey Gary, I don't know if you saw. We said happy birthday to my friend Gary there. Happy birthday, Gary. We don't distract me, dude. Pro move. It's so easy to lose your train of thought. By the way, like I'm. Like, I read his message and then I was like, I gotta remember to say happy birthday to him. Completely lost my train of thought. Anyway, whatever. Let's just move on. Hero and followers escape the car. Oh yeah, the old people. Duh. Just finished talking about the old people, dude. I don't know why it's interesting to me that the old people die or do not die. And I think what's interesting about that is that you would assume they would die. I think that's what really is interesting to me about it. Like, you're probably anticipating the entire time these old people dying because it's like they're not strong, they're elder, they're slow, whatever, and then they somehow survive. I guess, I don't know, something about that's kind of fun to me. A lot of close calls. Maybe they'll have a lot of close calls with some of these mechanisms or whatever. Inexplicably survive. So they escape the carnage, and I know that I want, like, one of the followers, one of the people that are in this group has to be like abducted or taken, and like there can't be anything more scary than maybe those people getting sucked underwater into some kind of chamber or whatever. So we'll just say follower. And like, I hate to say it's going to be a damsel in distress, kind of sexist, but like something like or along those lines, somebody in distress. I'll just say follower. Follower gets taken. Follower gets taken. Maybe, like, let's put in parentheses, sucked into tube. You wouldn't want to get sucked into a tube. And maybe they, presume dead at first or something, and then later, this person's actually just going to be actually held hostage. So we'll say held hostage almost. And that's going to be the call to action for our hero. Everyone survived at first, or at least most of the people survived, but he's going to have to go through these trials. So why is he going to go through these trials? Because he's got to save somebody. So the follower gets taken, and again, that might be who I'm thinking. Maybe it's going to be probably going to end up being the sidekick. That's what I have in mind. And I did visualize this as like a brother-sister sibling combo type thing. I don't know if I want to put like any kind of love story in here necessarily. I think the easy thing to do would be the hero and their lover go together to this water park, and the other lover gets taken, and the hero has to save the lover. But I don't know, something about like a sibling, getting taken, and that being the person that the hero has to save. That just speaks to me for some reason. But I'm still going to leave it as the follower gets taken, and hero attempts to save follower, goes through trials of some kind. And I'm thinking, which, by the way, this is a working title. First of all, Submechanophobia. It's obvious. Like, you guys all know the movie Arachnophobia, yeah? Go to playback when that happens. Video review. I know. I'm not set up for that, Gare. I think you can scroll back on the stream yourself, though, I think. Maybe. Pretty sure you can like go back to the beginning. Whatever. Don't make me do work, dude. Just kidding. I would do that if I could. I totally would. I just don't know. I guess I could get my Safari window into the Twitch stream and roll it back and then play. But yeah, let's not even worry about that. We're trying to run a screenplay here, dude. We're trying to earn some money. Trying to earn some big bucks here. Trying to fill seats. Trying to make a summer blockbuster. Which I'm going to do a lot of good research. I actually, over the course of COVID, watched a lot of horror movies. My buddy Dylan and I write together. Again, he was one of the writer, director, producers of The Infected, this zombie movie. Which, again, if you weren't here, you wouldn't have caught the trailer that we played, and I talked over that a little bit. But my buddy Dylan wrote this, and he writes a lot of horror and. Whoops. Again, I completely lost my train of thought. Something about Dylan. Dylan writing screenplays. Dylan writes screenplays. We're horror movies. Completely forgot where I was going with that. So easy to get sidetracked. In my head. My head is like insane, dudes. Okay, that's a mean thing to say. I got a lot going on. Let's just put it that way. Also, let's get this bigger. Can you guys read the font? How's the font size? This is the kind of stuff I can't really work out by myself, but I can make this bigger. I don't know why I just didn't do full screen. I anticipated switching between stuff so much that maybe I didn't want full screen, but this should have been full screen, so I'm sorry about that. That's a lot more legible for y'all. Plus, now the whole screen is almost black and white with me, black and white. Again, also, is my exposure way blown out now? I didn't even think about that. The color of the monitor, whatever, I can be blown out. You guys don't want to see detail in my face. No. But I didn't even think about that. The screen brightness changing, because I do have my light set up, my LED, but I was setting that up and doing the exposure when I was on Final Cut. I mean, watch the exposure on me shift. Yeah. I mean, yeah, whatever. I'm going to be blown out. I didn't even think about that. This is the kind of stuff that, you're going to mess up. Things are going to get messed up. It's a live stream. This is why it's fun. Um, so. My buddy Dylan, yeah, writer, and yeah, again, I lost my train of thought, so let's not go back there. Do you want to know more? So he goes through these trials, which again are going to be a lot of mechanisms of destruction, a lot of mechanisms for human destruction. Let's see, death montage. Hang on, I want to add to this death montage. Whoops. I want to add the stuff that we do know. We know we want a wave pool. Wave pool. Drain suckage. Is that a word? It's a word. Hey, look at the big brains on Brad. Wave pool, drain suckage. Turbines. Just a couple keywords. Keywords to keep in mind. When you're thinking, again, please, if anybody has any ideas for cool water park horror situations, happy to hear them. Hopefully we'll add those. I mean, that's the point of this. I would love it if people contributed and got some of their ideas put on screen eventually. I mean, here's what I can do. Here's what you can do, Paul. Turn down your screen brightness just a little bit. Although then it makes it hard for me to read that, but that's fine. So he goes through his trials, he's going to be trying to save the follower in distress, which we don't know. I'm picturing, here's what I wanted to say, or one thing I wanted to say. There are movies out there. Oh, okay. No, here's what I was saying. I'm going to go to so many different places. There's so much. I have so much to say and so much to go over. That's again why it's hard to keep your mind on point. But what I was saying at one point was, see, again, it's like I completely lose my train of thought. Let's just read back. Let's read back. Our intro, our storyline, we got our intro, death scene, ICD creating device. The reveals that it's the water park that's evil. Main characters get introduced. It's revealed that they're going to the water park for a fun day. They get fun at the water. They have a fun montage at the water park riding the rides with foreshadowing about how the park is actually deadly. The park transforms into its deadly form, which I'm also picturing, like maybe the theme park. This would actually be really cool. I love castles. Maybe it's like it is a giant castle and like there's a moat surrounding it and there's giant walls and there's a drawbridge and a portcullis and all that cool stuff. And maybe it traps them all in. So let's actually add that. I know I wanted something like that. The castle thing I just thought of, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Fun at the fun. Okay. Water park. I should actually do a whole text document which eventually, I mean, we're going to have so many documents by the end of this thing, like one page for each character, one page for the villain, one page for each scene, maybe not one page for each scene, but, let's see. So where do we want to put that? Intro death scene, water park reveal. And then we'll put in parentheses here. Castle, ? And that reminded me, I was going to say during COVID, I watched a lot of horror movies. I did like every Scream movie, which I hadn't seen. I think maybe I hadn't seen Scream 3. I'd seen most of them, but I watched all of them back to back. It was really fun. And then I watched I Know What You Did Last Summer. That might have been where I know I watched more than that, but I was watching a lot of cool horror movies that are just fun stuff to keep your mind off things. And there are a lot of movies. This is one thing I was trying to go over and then got sidetracked. There there are or not even necessarily horror movies. There's movies out there that really that do deal with this kind of stuff. And one movie that really comes to mind is, God, what was that John Cusack movie? 2012, was that the name of the movie? 2012. He they build the big arcs that they're all going on. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Anyway, there's a scene in that movie, I'm pretty sure, where John Cusack has to like swim through a lot of these mechanisms in the ship to try. I think they're trying to close one of the doors. There's something wrong with the mechanisms to try to get this like arc to survive the end of the world or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But anyway, a lot of movies that deal with this kind of stuff, it's just never been the main point. And this is what else I was going into. Submechanophobia. That name we might change that. I don't know what that's going to be. It's obviously a reference to arachnophobia. I mean, it is the same type of word as arachnophobia. And I'm sure there's a lot of movies. I didn't look it up, but I'm sure there's a lot of movies that use the phobia word or suffix. Phobia suffix. Is that a suffix? My learned friends. So we might change that title. I think it's a pretty cool title. I also do like arachnophobia a lot. And I already checked, there is no movie titled Submechanophobia on IMDb currently. That doesn't mean there's none that exists, though, because that is a user-based system. So it might just not have been added. But currently, there's no movie named Submechanophobia. So that's our working title, and it might actually end up being the actual production title. We will see. I say a lot, don't I? I actually told myself to try not to say so much. It's just a good transition when you're trying to remember where we were in this process. So anyway, hero attempts to save the follower, goes through trials. Maybe, the hero gets captured. I kind of visualize it like this all evil Walt Disney type is kind of giving the person these trials. Like, I'm literally just picturing a pool with one side is our follower in distress, tied up, whatever, maybe slowly getting sucked under or something. And then our hero at the far end, and he has to swim through and go through, I guess a like American Gladiators type death maze or something underwater, of course, to obviously face his fears. But I don't know if he has to be captured to do that. But I do picture, this evil villain guy like over a loudspeaker. It takes 10 seconds for her to get pulled underwater. I hope you can swim fast enough. Something like that going on. And then he's like, oh, I gotta face my fears. Right. So hero attempts to save the follower, goes through trials. Maybe he fails. Like if there's enough followers, let's say this. Maybe let's just say in parentheses again. This is how when I write, and there's a real good way to do this, but when I'm not sure about an idea or whatever, I'll always put in parentheses like maybe this, maybe that, or this with a question mark or whatever. It's just the way I signify to myself that those are just potential ideas that we can go over. So goes through trials. And again, can't save one follower, maybe something like that. I mean, we know these our main characters, we do want them to be emotionally we want them to be scared, and there's not going to be anything more scary than watching one of their friends get sucked under and chopped up into bits or something like that. Which, by the way, totally a rated R stream. I think most streams are. It's an adult platform, in my opinion. So anyway, I hope you're cool with violence. I hope you're cool with ultra violence, because it's a horror movie. What do you expect? This ain't no Scream. Or I'm sorry, this ain't no Psycho. We're not hiding the stabs. We're going to show it. Full penetration. And this is going to go on back and forth, action, full penetration, action, full penetration, back and forth until the movie just kind of ends. But anyway, can't save one follower, maybe. But that'd be a good kick in the teeth. Like, he's our hero again, is going through these trials, and maybe he fails once and he gets really discouraged. Can't save one follower. Let's say this. Hero discouraged. Ooh, tell me I'm gonna spell discouraged right. Yes. Again, it's the font, dude. I swear, I gotta scroll through different fonts and figure out which one my brain connects with is like what I'm used to seeing. Because honestly, I'm pretty sure I'm a pretty good speller. I got really good scores on all my spelling tests and standardized testing and all that good stuff. I'm, all intents and purposes, I am a well-educated. This is why I think I might have like dyslexia or might be slightly dyslexic or something. Because it's just like sometimes it's just there's too much going on and my brain can't really handle it or something. I don't know. I haven't been diagnosed with it, so I probably don't have it. No disrespect if it feels weird for me to say that and I don't actually have it. I'm sorry, but I might. I've never been good at reading. I've never been able to read through a book. That's also probably an ADD thing. Again, I've never been diagnosed, but potential. So after the hero is discouraged, then maybe let's say, Ahsoka, this would be cool. So maybe we lose this one follower. The follower gets taken. Let's say followers get taken. Because multiple will get taken. Maybe at first we don't know, gets sucked into tube, and then we'll say condition unknown. And it might be just presumed that they've been killed, right? I think that, and then maybe again, hero attempts to save one, let's say one follower. Let's see. Sorry, let me read these comments. This is what we're here for. Poseidon, Adventure, and Daylight. Oh, Daylight. Dude, I almost said Rambo. Sylvester Stallone, dude, yes. Dude, okay. We got some cool movie night potential. My friends, any of my friends who want to watch movies with me, we got some cool movie night potential here. Yeah, Daylight. I should start a list. I'm not going to do that right now. Dylan, if you're big enough for it, if you're up to it, start a list, dude. I would love that. I really appreciate you. All those things. I'd love to watch that. Ton of Submechanophobia. Yeah. And Poseidon, I haven't seen. Daylight, I've seen. And yes, he also goes through a bunch of turbines. They're out of water, which again don't scare me as bad, but still horrifying. Ayo, got video. Yeah, we got video, buddy. And I didn't. One bummer, I couldn't. I just learned OBS. I spent all the time getting this set up, getting all my stuff set up in OBS, and then I discovered Streamlabs OBS, which I also just got, and I'm in the process of learning. I've literally for like 2 weeks been like, okay, next stream is going out of OBS Studio, Streamlabs. Next one's going out of Streamlabs, and then it's like, okay, I didn't get that working, so we'll do that next time. Oh, we're gonna do that next time. So it's set up. I paid for the Prime Streamlabs subscription or whatever. Felt like that was worth it. It was like $15 a month or something. I just paid for the year. They might actually give me like a little discount. I swear it was only like $150 for the year, so pretty cool. Yeah, just want to make sure I didn't miss anything in the comments. Yeah. Daylight, yeah. Start a list, Dylan. Let's watch some cool stuff. Calibri. Oh, really? Dude, Dylan. Oh. Why are you guys so freaking cool? Why are my friends so amazing? I don't know. Luckiest man alive. Also, there's a special dyslexia font that makes it easier for dyslexic people to read it. It makes letters heavier. Very cool. I'm gonna look into that. I'm not gonna try to change any of this stuff now, but that's really good to know. Different weights and kerning for different letters, and yeah, letter combos. I don't think those fonts are useful. Camera looks great. Sweet. that again, the camera was a pretty big step for me. So just having it up, and this is not what it's gonna look like. I have such a cool little studio backdrop right behind you. Not gonna show you because it's not set up, but it's really cool. Just got to do a little bit more work on it. Anyway, glad you guys are all here. Really glad everyone's here. Which, by the way, if you're new to the stream, I would really appreciate it if you followed my stream. I am trying to make that 50 follower tier thing. They do have a pretty cool little checklist of uh, tiers that you step by step, like building up your stream and whatever. And I've clicked pretty much all of them. I hit every single one except for my followers. And I hate asking for followers because it's really cheesy, but I kind of need it. So if you don't mind, if you like this kind of stuff, obviously don't just follow because you are sad. Follow this because this is the kind of stuff you want to see. If you haven't seen my previous streams, we kind of have a pretty eclectic mix of cool stuff, usually all surrounding photography, video, and gaming, and those things kind of all in relation. That is my life. That's my vibe. That's what I'm going to go over. And this is just kind of one series that we're doing on the show, this writing series, which is, again, a brand new thing. We're just starting. This is our first episode. Working title right now, again, is, just writing horror, Submechanophobia. And then maybe if we do anything else, maybe we can do like a writing, whatever other genre we want to write in. But for now, this is writing horror, Submechanophobia. All working titles. I do love the title Submechanophobia, though. And again, not on IMDb yet. That's a big one. That was a big one for me. Want to try to be original while also copying people so you know your concept works. Which, again, Arachnophobia, which I'll probably watch also because I love that movie. That's pretty much where I got the name. Although I remember when I thought this name sounded good for a movie, I was like, what a unique name for a movie. No one's done that. And then I was like, no, it's just a phobia. That there's a million phobia movies. So no, Paul, not very unique. But no Submechanophobia yet. So that's cool. Anyway, let's go over. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. So anybody that did miss it, let's go over the basics again. Our character is a hero that suffers from submechanophobia. That's as basic as we need it to be. And we're visualizing this person as some sort of military. I really do. I think I'm really liking more and more the Navy SEAL idea that Dylan mentioned. Because I had, of course I already thought of that. You didn't give me the idea. I actually didn't think it was that great. I was like, nah, it's not going to work. And then when he said it, though, it was like, no, I mean, if that's where his mind went with it, that's probably a good place to go with it. So, and again, we have that line, which I'll add in here right now. I know that this line of dialogue would be great. My keyboard is in such a weird place. Again, this is not set up how it should be. But it's a work in progress. The line that I like is, how the fuck did you get through BUDS? If he's a Navy SEAL, which BUDS, if you're not familiar, I already mentioned this, but BUDS is the Basic Underwater Demolition School, which is more or less, I don't want to say it's basic. It's basic underwater demolition school, but it's not basic training. Everybody that's a Navy SEAL has gone through basic military training already. I believe you have to have 2 years of Navy service experience. I think I should look into that. If you're a Navy SEAL, I would love to know. Dude, if you are a Navy SEAL or know someone that's a Navy SEAL or know anybody, in fact, that works in a line or has a line of work that revolves around underwater stuff, if anybody knows anybody that has submechanophobia and still works in a field like that, that would be really interesting to know. So maybe point me in their direction, or point me in them in my direction, or whatever. I think it'd be pretty fun to get somebody with knowledge, firsthand knowledge, because again, I ain't going near any of this stuff. When we get into the filming phase, if I'm part of the production of this, which, who knows if this ever gets produced? We don't know. That was ultimately the goal, but I'm not going anywhere in the water. I'm not going to be doing the underwater cinematography. I'm not doing any underwater shooting. I'm actually picturing a lot of these mechanisms generated with the computer, so we don't have to put anybody in danger. Also, something that's kind of scary about this concept in general is just the difficulty of shooting with water or in water. It is a nightmare. If you hear anybody talk about shooting water-based stuff, most people say like, I'm never shooting anything with water again. So uh, we'll see how this goes. But I think a lot of it, especially these days, I mean, that a lot of these people, like I'm thinking, especially James Cameron, especially mentioned during the production of, oh God, I'm so blanking right now. I almost said Sphere, but it's not Sphere, although that's probably a good one to watch too because they're underwater. Oh my God, the scene with Queen Latifah when she gets stung by all the jellyfish. That doesn't really scare me as much, but I'm sure there's some good underwater mechanics in that movie. If anybody knows that name of that James Cameron movie, throw that in there. Oh, why can't I think of it with Ed Harris, Michael Biehn? Michael Biehn is amazing. That might be my. No, I don't know if that's Michael Bihn's best performance. I can't. You can't say that about Michael Biehn. Really good though. Really good Michael Biehn, dude. And really good Ed Harris. Anyway, and Queen Latifah's great. And you know, oh, am I thinking? Is that even Sphere? That's Sphere, yeah. Although I'm now mixing up Sphere and why can't I think of the movie name? Abyss. Thank you, dude. Thank you, somebody. Jeez, what an audience. Yeah. So in the Abyss, James Cameron, or during the production of the Abyss, I know that James Cameron has said that like he's never gonna. Well, but that can't be true because then they did Titanic. Maybe it was one of the actors. They talked about how difficult it was. It was like, I mean, everybody on that production, it sounded like a freaking nightmare. And it all had a lot to do with the water-based filming that had to be done, cinematography that had to be done, and everybody being underwater and in tanks and cold, and it just sounds like an annoying situation. You have a lot less control because you're underwater. But that's we'll see how that goes. Anyway, how the fuck did you get through Buds? I got totally sidetracked. How the fuck did you get through Buds? Capitalize that. I think that's a funny line because yeah, again, if you did do Navy SEAL Buds training, you will definitely. Again, there is a documentary on YouTube that you can check out. It's probably not only on YouTube, but that's where I watched it. That's a documentary that follows one class going through Buds, and they definitely show them actually placing explosives on the hull of a ship and things like that. And I swear they go right next to those propellers. And that's when I was like, no. Can I be the guy that drives the boat? I don't want to go in the water. I'll drive the boat. I also get really seasick. I get seasick really easily. So this production is going to be a nightmare. Again, I will be out of the water if I am involved in the production, the shooting part of the production at least. So, again, let's go over the base. Let's just go over what we got so far. We got our main characters. The hero suffers from submechanophobia. Perhaps he's going to be I'm getting to like an 80% sure he's going to be a Navy SEAL. Although that, again, subject to change. Firefighter. Why didn't you tell me I spelled firefighter wrong? Anybody? Is fight? Why is that spelled correctly? Dude, my final draft is really weird with misspelling. Anyway, firefighter. We mentioned Schwarzenegger being a firefighter in Collateral. Collateral Damage. I love that movie. It's the cheesiest thing in the world, but it's a Schwarzenegger, dude. What do you want? So that's our main character, and the biggest thing is that this person has submechanophobia. And then there's the sidekick who, again, I kind of picture, let's put this in parentheses. I'm going to say sibling, cousin, something like that. I just don't want it to be like a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I don't, that sounds just so cliche to me or boring or whatever. Like I said, maybe one of the followers is like flirtatious with the hero or something like that, and that might be one of the followers that ends up getting killed or something. And I don't know, but for now, the main sidekick that's helping our main character through his phobia. Again, that's the storyline. Um, the sidekick, is actually trying to help the main character through their submachinophobia by bringing them to this water park. Because maybe they'll even mention the fact that the wave pool always scared them, because that's a true life thing for me. And we do have that death montage, a wave pool death scene, which we're going to do. That's going to be sweet. So sidekick helping him through the phobia. Again, sibling or cousin. A little bit of my favorite thing to do in horror stuff for some reason is to have elderly people who manage to survive, extra family members there. The villain, while the real antagonist, again, is really the submachinophobia itself, the actual personified villain is going to be, well, not technically personified, although, what if the villain is a mechanical shark? No, I don't know. That sounds kind of, I meant that to be silly, but again, this movie's supposed to be whack, so maybe it'd be something like that. Like he's surgically put himself. He's like half of his body. Like okay. Let's talk about Wild Wild West. Probably the best movie ever made, I'd say. Anyway, what's I'm gonna blank on his name. Kenneth Branagh. It's Kenneth Branagh, right? In Wild Wild West. Am I being silly? Kenneth Branagh is the evil guy in that. Anyway, he's got like he's like cut in half. And at some point, I think he like half of his body is like a mech. Well, he's got that like wheelchair thing he runs around in. But I'm thinking like, this villain, same thing. The bottom half of his body is like a grafted on mechanical shark, and he like swims through the water. I'm actually kind of liking that the more I think about it. Let me just put that in parentheses real quick. Partially, let's see, grafted. Nah, I won't even try grafted. I don't even want to try to spell that. Half man, half mech shark. I think that sounds super silly. But I mean, there's got to be something. And I was going with like what would be the personification of submachinophobia, and what would be better than the villain being a mechanical underwater object. I mean, that would be a good personification, I guess. But he's still living, or at least partially. Maybe his brain is implanted, a la RoboCop 2, kind of like Kane in RoboCop 2, if you guys are familiar with that movie. The antagonist is a drug dealer, and they take his brain the same way they took RoboCop, Peter Weller, and turned him into a robot. I believe in RoboCop 2, I think it's something to do with like crime, like a criminal rehabilitation. I forget how the plot of that movie goes. Probably convoluted, much more convoluted than a RoboCop movie needs to be. But they put the evil guy's brain in this robot, and there's this cool graphical interface of his face, of the actor's face. I should know that actor's name, dude. So prolific. But he's basically a robot, but he's got a brain. So maybe it could be something like that. Like maybe the shark is a brain, or I don't know. That's just cool. Half man, half shark. We'll just leave it there for now like that. That's just a cool idea. Again, in parentheses, because we don't know. We just know that he's going to be the owner of the park, and he's evil. What his evil plan is. What is this doing with Disney? I don't know. Whatever. Isn't that how you spell Disney? Am I being dipshit? Am I being a dip squat? If I capitalize it, it goes away. That's what it was. I didn't capitalize the D. So, basic characters, Storyline, intro death scene, which is going to be somebody at the park outside of the main character group getting killed. This is our interesting intro. I'd say ICD here. ICD, interest creating device. Intro death scene. Water. And then it's revealed that this park is the actual place that it's happening. Because at first maybe you don't know. This person is just maybe tied up to a similar mechanism that the hero is trying. That actually might be cool. It's like almost a mirror of the beginning scene is going to mirror what the hero has to go through, but the intro scene, the people fail and just get destroyed, and then we reveal that it's the water park. That's going to roll into the main character intros with them either approaching the water park or waiting in line to get into the water park, and it revealing that they're now at the same place that we just saw those people get killed at. Fun montage of the park operating under normal conditions, with foreshadowing about how those rides and those mechanisms might change into murderous devices. The park is going to transform at some point. Like I'm literally visualizing, let's say this, I don't have to put it maybe. The park transforms, I'm literally visualizing that villain literally at the control board, pressing the buttons, watching the monitors, starting these processes, starting the drains, sucking really hard, starting the wave pool, reversing the direction of the flow of water so people are getting sucked into it, turning the turbine, bay doors opening and blades coming out and starting to whirl around underwater. Cool stuff like that. I said Transformers. That's why I said park transforms. It's all going to be mechanical, so it could be a Transformers type thing. Maybe there's a giant Transformers car, too. You know what? I can get Michael Bay's number. We can make this Transformers. What are they on? Like 8? Transformers 7? 8? This could be like Transformers 9 or Transformers 8. Submechanophobia. Transformers. Submechanophobia. I don't know. James, we haven't spoken for a while. Again, I'm in a bidding war with many of my screenplays, of course. Joke. Anyway, park transforms, carnage ensues, death, destruction, violence. Which again, death montage, which I know I want a wave pool death thing. We know we want drains sucking people under, and we know we want turbines and propellers. Let's say that. Turbines, because they are different. Propellers. And the hero and followers are amongst those people. We're watching this happen, but they somehow escape the initial carnage. And maybe some of them will die, maybe one or two will die. A couple of the followers get taken. And again, I'm picturing them like getting sucked in, like trap doors opening, them getting sucked into these tubes and stuff underwater. And their conditions are unknown, just presumed that they're dead, but they are actually going to be held hostage. And that is kind of going to be our call to action for our hero character needing to attempt to at least save these people. And right now we are on that portion where they're going to go attempt, or at least again, these are just key plot points. The hero is going to go attempt to save one of the followers, starts going through these trials that he's going to go through, these gnarly, again, I said American Gladiator type obstacles underwater that he's got to go through to face his fears, and then also try to attempt to save the follower. And I'm thinking that maybe one follower first gets killed by these mechanisms, and that discourages our hero. But then they, realize, I'm going to say, let's say followers / sidekick, because that's going to be the thing. One of the followers gets taken. It's one of the lower level characters that gets killed, and he's discouraged. And again, we don't know what happened to all those followers or both of those followers that get taken. But then he's gonna, or this character, the hero character, is gonna realize that, let's say sidekick, because that's where I think I'm going with this. The sidekick, realizing that the sidekick is still alive, must be saved. And that's again going to be another kind of call to action for our hero, because he's going to get discouraged. He sees one of his friends pass away violently. Anyway, and he fails. That's the big thing. I mean, he's already watched a bunch of people die, so that's fine. But he's seeing this follower get murdered, and then this gets discouraged, realizes the sidekick is still alive, is still alive. Sidekick is still alive and must be saved. Perfect. Okay, so then again, I kind of like the idea of that beginning scene, the intro scene, also being where we come back to at the end during this final trial. So let's say final trial and same or similar to ICD. I think that'd be a cool way to wrap it around back to the beginning again. Not that you need to do that, but I'm liking that idea. Final trial, same or similar to the ICD. And they succeed. Oh, let's just say success. Success. The child doesn't want to swear. And in horror movies, me and a lot of my friends, we always talk about how it's pretty interesting when it's kind of like a unknown ending, a darker ending. Like you're not sure if they've actually succeeded or not, or if they're still going to be in danger. And I think one thing that came to mind for me is like this person goes through the trial to save their sidekick. Success, but now they have to swim back. Which again, I'm picturing like a giant pool, and one side is this sidekick tied up or whatever in peril. The hero has to go through again American Gladiator type obstacle course of sorts underwater or something like that, so that they face their fears. This is going to be them facing their fears. And they get to the end of that. They save the person, and they're at the far end. And then maybe, one kind of like dark ending would be like, oh, now we got to swim back, which would be okay. Let's actually put that in parentheses, because I don't know if that's going to be how it is. Again, we're trying to make a blockbuster here. We're trying to build a franchise, so we can't like end this thing like they've succeeded in all as well. It's got to be open-ended. So now they have to swim back. That's one potential. Let's say survives, but villain still at large. At large. Such a weird way to put that, at large. I got to look up why that's said like that. I love reading about the history of, little phrases like that, like at large. I've just said that. What does that mean, at large? Large? Whatever. It probably means something I'm just too silly to know it. We also, we also kind of have to, let's see, final trial, same or similar to ICD. Let's also say we got to have like, the villain's got to get taken care of, right? Before they succeed. So let's just say villain is, he's killed, subdued. Villain is subdued. Let's just say subdued for now. Again, I don't know how, like if he's a mechanized, like again, if maybe he transforms, like he's got his little half mechanized body that he can, again, if he's at this control board we're beginning with this with the park transformation, and he's hitting the switches in his 6'4", he can, he's got to have hands and stuff. So that's why I'm picturing half of a person, because I do want to see his arms touching these controls and making these park rides transform and stuff like that. So I know he's got to have arms. He's going to be somewhat of a humanoid body, or at least he can have a humanoid body if it's like the brain thing, where his brain is being moved from one mechanical person or thing to another or something like that. You know, we're not sure how we're gonna do that yet, but if he's like a big, if he is like a mechanical shark, he somehow can put himself into or ride along on a mechanical shark or something. Maybe it's something like the mechanical shark turns on him or gets sucked into one of the turbines or something, but it's not going to be clear that he's dead because we do want, again, maybe that villain to be up large. So that's why I'm going to say subdued. Not dead in parentheses because we don't know. Maybe. And then success, but now they got to swim back. Survives, but the villain is still at large. Or like, you know, again, I kind of picture them in this underground, cavernous pool, gymnasium, obstacle course thing that this villain has built. And maybe they get like, you know, think they are stuck, but you know, mechanism can change, or one of the mechanisms in that room can change, and maybe it lifts them out of the cavern or the you know, the obstacle course area, whatever that's going to be. I think they are stuck, but elevator lifts them to safety. I'm also thinking now, if we're thinking about that villain dying, like maybe that villain gets sucked into something. And again, presumed dead at first. And then maybe our hero is then also sucked in and taken by the same thing that's taken the villain. And you're like, oh no, they're in trouble. Let's say this, taken in the same way the villain is taken. Taken, let's see, taken by same mechanism that, again, my keyboard's in a weird spot, that killed, because again, we don't know if he's dead, killed the villain. So they're taken by that same mechanism, whether it's another tube that they get sucked into or whatever that's going to be. That's where the villain dies. But then if these other people are taken in, and at first you think, oh no, they're getting taken the same place that the villain got taken and he died, maybe they'll go through some sort of weird tube windy, maybe like another kind of obstacle course where you're kind of, they go, oh no, they're passing turbines, there's propellers, there's this and that, there's underwater mechanical stuff. Like maybe you think they're going to die, but then they're kind of spit out and it ends up like that's actually like an escape route for the villain. And maybe it like, maybe again, we're going to go with this mechanical shark idea for the villain, which again, totally silly, might not be like that, but that's where my head's going with it. Maybe this mechanical shark thing, now that it got sucked out, and then maybe the reveal at the end is that that mechanical shark villain is now in the open ocean. Like he was like, maybe that would be part of the storyline. Like, oh, I'm this mechanical shark that's been stuck in this water forever, and now, but I can't get out or something. I don't know. And then he gets sucked in, and then it's like revealed that, we'll just say that again in parentheses because it's a maybe. Reveal. Oh no, well, actually, let's use that as our next point here. Success. Now to swim back. Right. Revealed or reveal that the villain is still. Oh wait, did I say that already? Still at large. Right. Survives, but villain's still at large. Reveal. We'll just say that villain is now in the open ocean. I'll just say that for now. And then like in parentheses, that's like submechanophobia. 2. Again, you gotta go for those franchises, okay? I'm gonna go. I'm in with the big wigs. Me and James Cameron have talked about doing a Titanic 2 and 3. We got that, and he's said that I could start developing story concepts for it. It's fine. I got a little hush money to keep that quiet. I'm not supposed to really be talking about it. Signed an NDA. But you want a franchise, dude. You want Titanic 2 and 3. You want Leonardo DiCaprio to not have been dead. You cried a lot when that happened, and you don't want him to be dead. So in your mind, he's good. He's alive, and I want that sequel. So we're gonna do a sequel for this one too. Uh, and yeah, I like that reveal though, that the villain has now, like, he's not just restricted to his castle or whatever. Again, I'm also liking that castle idea, or the water park is themed like a castle. I kind of like that, and that could add some potential flair to the design and things like that. But those are good things that we're gonna work on in next episodes. I think those kind of details. Okay, so he's in the open ocean, and then we got Submechanophobia 2 potential. Boom. And then that's gonna be it. You roll credits, dude. Dang, man. Okay, and so that's our screenplay. Thanks for joining. Bye. Totally kidding. We're like nowhere even close to, for tonight, we're pretty close to wrapping up. So again, thanks for joining us. If you are new to the stream, please follow my stream. I really appreciate that. Trying to get those 50 followers. And if this is a repeat that you're watching, these are ending up. These do go onto my YouTube page. Again, Paul Mosley Hanton, same handle. These are all uploaded later, so if you do miss any of this kind of stuff, don't worry about it. It's all going to be up on the YouTube, especially series like this. There might be some little video streams that we do that I'm not going to, there's like no point in really putting them up maybe, but for now I'm trying to get most of these streams up, and then I'm going to start categorizing them in their different segments, things like that on the YouTube page. But if you are on YouTube right now and you're watching this, please subscribe to the YouTube page if you like this kind of stuff. Again, I would hope that this would be interesting to other filmmakers, other photographers, or at least my stream would be interesting to other filmmakers, photographers, gamers, or gamers that also are involved in photography and film. If you didn't catch some of my other streams, we do in-game photography and things like that. That's pretty cool. So yeah, if you like this kind of content, really appreciate any support. But if you don't like it, totally cool. Plenty of streamers out there, plenty of people that you can find. Like Twitch is full of amazing people out. So, don't just follow me just for the hell of it. Although I would really appreciate it. But you don't have to. I really want people very interested in photography, film, video games, and how those things relate to each other. Those are the kind of people that I would hope would be interested in this kind of content. So I really hope you guys are enjoying this kind of stuff. Do you want to know more? Told myself to say that like over and over again during the stream. I love Paul Verhoeven movies. I'm going to talk a lot about Paul Verhoeven movies. Let's see, what would be the most similar Paul Verhoeven movie to this? Not that he's made any movies like this, I guess. I haven't seen much of his early stuff. I think Soldier of Orange might have, no, not Soldier of Orange. Flesh and Blood. I think Flesh and Blood is the earliest Verhoeven that I've seen, because he did RoboCop, I think, right at like a couple years after that, and then he got into the Hollywood, like Soldier of Orange and Flesh and Blood are both, I believe, Danish produced films, and then RoboCop was, I believe, his first Hollywood produced feature, and then he, obviously big success with RoboCop, Total Recall, all the good ones, Starship Troopers, the three. Those are like the holy Verhoeven sci-fi trilogy, if I'm remembering correctly. That's what people consider the RoboCop, or the science fiction Verhoeven trilogy, ultraviolent trilogy. RoboCop, Total Recall, Starship Troopers. I'm pretty sure that's, I think, what did he do? Striptease. What's that movie? Showgirls. Showgirls might have come between one of those or whatever. No, I think that was after Starship Troopers. Though. I could be wrong. And Basic Instinct is in there somewhere. But anyway, I don't have his IMDb up. I should have done that. I have IMDb right here because I was talking about Kill House earlier, a movie I worked on, horror movie I worked on. But I didn't pull up Verhoeven, and I wasn't going to talk about him. But if there was one movie that was the most similar to this, I don't know, dude. I think there's a scene. I don't know. Let's just say Total Recall. Because why not, dude? I want my movie to be like Total Recall. No, actually, it'd probably be most like, I think we've already talked about RoboCop. So I think it's the only movie of Verhoeven's that we talked about where there is similarities. So we'll just say RoboCop. I'm fine with that too. I love RoboCop. Which weird trivia, I saw RoboCop 2 way before I saw RoboCop 1. That happened with me in a lot of movies. I kind of wanted to do a whole video about that. I thought that was a really interesting thing in my life, how I've seen some sequels like Terminator 2 I saw before Terminator 1, RoboCop 2 before RoboCop 1, Predator 2 before Predator 1. I have a whole spiel about that. We'll do that another time. But yeah, this is pretty much all I wanted to do tonight. Just this really, really bare bones, some simple character descriptions, basic storyline stuff, which I mean we got through. I mean this is pretty well fleshed out at this point. I mean, again, we're doing this quick. This is a fun horror movie, so we ain't gonna get too in depth into the poetry of this whole thing. You know, we're gonna make it pretty quick. And also, we didn't even do any real writing, so next time we're actually gonna do some we'll get that screenplay formatting going, and maybe start writing some of the basic scenes, some of the intro scenes out in screenplay format, because we didn't do any of that today yet. But I do hope if people enjoy this and this is something that people like to watch, I do hope to run through the entire screenwriting process with help from the audience. Thank you very much for everybody tonight that threw out ideas, because that's why I'm doing this. I really want to hear what other people think. I do want this to appeal to other people, because I mean that's why people would watch it, and having input from, I mean, this is essentially what we're doing here is we're taking this pre-screening, what do they call it when a movie, screening, they usually show a movie test audience. They have a test audience watch the test screening, and then they'll get their feedback, right? What the fuck backwards ass Hollywood concept is that shit, dude? Why don't you have some audience input beforehand so you don't have to go back and reshoot stuff, cut footage, waste money? Why would you do that? Insanity. So let's actually start with some audience feedback right away so we know that we're moving in the right direction from the get-go. Weird concepts. Crazy, right? I know, I'm a crazy guy. But anyway, that's what I want. I want your feedback. I want to know what would scare you in this situation, which is why I mentioned if you know people with submechanophobia, please point them in this direction. Maybe, am I allowed to like post a link to this on the Submechanophobia Reddit? Like, I don't know, people get pissed about that kind of self-promotion stuff. I'll talk to Blake about that later. I don't want to piss people off I do not want Reddit on my ass. No. I'm a good person. Please do not, I don't need more crap in it. Please. I need help. I need your help. I love working with everybody. I have a lot of respect for y'all. So please, a little bit of respect back would be great. But anyway, I want to hear what everybody has to say about this kind of stuff. And this is really fun. I mean, I love writing movies. Again, I've written a lot, never shared much. I'm trying to change that. Let's change that. Let's get something done. This is a great way to do it. We're not doing anything serious. My heart is not going to be like, if this doesn't go anywhere, whatever, dude. My heart's not broken by it. This is not me, although this is a personal storyline for me, and that's why I want to do it at all. But it's not a serious, this isn't a serious emotional investment. Although I will be emotionally, I'll be scared. especially again if I'm involved in the actual filming of this, if it ever ends up happening, which I do hope. By the way, again, we'll run through my general idea of how this is going to roll, or how this series will go. This is again just one series that I want to do on this channel, and maybe we'll just do this like once a week, or a writing session once a week or something, but that's going to be up to my audience. I really want to do stuff that's interesting to you, not what I want to do. I'll do that by myself. I want to do things that other people are interested in as well, because that's the fun of collaboration. So we're going to write this. Today was just our basic storyline, basic story structure, basic characters. We're going to break this out. We're going to start fleshing out the characters. We're going to start fleshing out the scenes. Go through the entire writing process. I do really want to register this script. I think it'd be fun to go through the script registration process with everybody. I would love to find, at least get this in the hands of some production companies or some production people, and get their feedback at the very least. I mean, just show what goes into the process of getting your screenplays read, getting them in the hands of people that would be able to do something with it. I don't have money. The biggest thing holding any filmmaker back: financing, 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 financing. Nobody talks about financing. I get, everybody I know is like, oh, I'm doing this movie. It's like, okay, how long did you spend in financing? What did you do to finance? Well, no, I mean, no financing. It's like, I didn't try. It's like, dude, again, backwards ass production mentality. Get the money, dude. If you think you have a good idea, right? If I think this is good, let's put my money where my mouth is. Let's go to somebody and say, this is worth money. I want money to make this. You should give me money to make it. I mean, that's essentially what you're saying. You gotta finance. Everybody, if you're a filmmaker, start financing. If you're in high school right now and you want to be a filmmaker, start building budgets for your simple short films. Like all the short films, if you didn't catch the stream earlier, let's play that back now while let's save this. We'll have this playing back. Why not? Ooh, dude, I can go full screen. Is my picture going to be in there? So even when you're doing little things like this, like I didn't finance for any of this kind of stuff, but you should say, I want to do this. It will cost me this amount of money. And you're not going to have financiers outside of your family, maybe your dad, your mom, your aunt, your uncle, your grandparents. But guess what, dude? You need to ask for money from somebody to finance a movie. When Martin Scorsese wants to make a movie, he doesn't just go, I'm making a movie, and people are like, here's money. He goes and he tries to get money, and he has to pitch his idea. And that's Martin Scorsese. You know what I mean? Like, so you have to do that, and you should get started in that mindset right away. Don't think I got to do this for no money. Don't think that. Think this is going to cost money. I want to pay the people I hire. That's very important. You have to finance it. Start, again, from if you're just starting out and you're a kid and you want to get in that mindset, ask your parents, say, I'm making this movie. Here's my start pitching your ideas to people and saying, and I need $500 to buy this. I need $500 to rent the camera. Guarantee you, if it's your family, I mean, what kind of family are going to say no, right? Make them feel bad that they're not going to give you money. They'll give you money. Good place to start. Start asking. Then we have amazing crowdsource funding venues or avenues to approach. So maybe I will do at some point, maybe we can get a Kickstarter or something like that, an Indiegogo for financing this. Maybe we'll do something like that. Again, I would love to get a production company involved. So I'm not self-financing necessarily if we got to that stage of the production, but I would love to go through that filmmaking process. These are horror movies that we did back in the day as kids. And this is a movie I worked on. But yeah, financing, very, very important. And that'd be a cool place to go and follow along the entire filmmaking process in that way. And then, I don't know if, we're going to be able to stream actual filming. We could definitely stream some production work and stuff like that. But that would be the next step, is like once we've gotten a production company involved, or we have financing, we acquired financing, we have this, screenplay's done, we found a production company who wants to produce it, we have financing, then we'd be, I would love to show the entire process of pre-production, which a lot of this can change throughout pre-production. Then we could maybe do some streaming of the production. Then we can do some streaming of the edit. If I'm going to be, I do edit, so I could possibly just be the editor. Again, I don't know how big this is going to, I have no idea how big this is going to be. Maybe we don't do this ever again after today, because everyone on the message board says, that was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. Why would you do that? I'm not going to do it if no one's interested. Again, I will do this on my own, but I'm going to do it regardless. But doing it with you is a lot more fun. So if we get to that stage in production, I want to go through all that stuff on the stream. If I edit it, I want to go through the edit on the stream. Again, I'm going to plug another series we are going to start. I actually meant to start this series before. This little portion, these little clips right here, this war movie that we did. I shot this like 15 years ago in high school. I'm going through the entire movie. I'm going to re-edit this. I'm adding special effects. We're shooting a couple more scenes to make this into because I know these are my good, everybody in this movie is a good friend of mine. I'm going to get these people to come back and act, which we planned the whole time. I mean, okay. So Richard Linklater, like the movie Boy was shot over a period of 15 years. He did consult with me because he knew I had that concept before he did. It was just my original idea. Not a big deal. He came to me because I'd already been, conceptualized. Again, we shot this 15 years ago, and we've been waiting for my friends to be aged enough to do the future scenes. Are you buying this? So waited 15 years, but I am going to get my actor friends to come back in, and we're going to film them, and it's going to end up being a flashback. This battle sequence is a flashback that these the old version of these characters are watching. That's going to be fun. We're going to add special effects. I never did special effects on this. I got started with it back then, never completed it. But we're going to do that in a series as well. And that actually is going to be because this is actually going to begin probably with a lot of the special effects being added, because I can do that almost right away. But we're going to be remixing the sound, which is of huge importance, especially in a movie like this. And that'll be kind of a good way to show the concept for how I'll be streaming the edit process and the special effects. And if I can do that, I don't know how big this screenplay we're writing now is, but I think it'd be fun to run through the whole thing. And if I'm not involved in the edit, I would hope to get another Twitch streamer that does edit to do this type of similar thing, but they're going to be able to do it in a much professional way than I will be able to do, because I do edit, but I would never, I'm not for hire as an editor necessarily. I only edit my own projects. So, that's kind of the concept for this new thing as well. Running through the entire production steps on a stream, watching the edit, watching the special effects edit. Again, that's after we've gotten financing and hopefully gotten this thing shot, produced. But that sounds really fun, and I want you all involved in the entirety of the production. That sounds really fun to me. So anyway, plugging this one. Keep an eye out for this war movie Redux, because that's going to be a pretty cool. I think that's going to be pretty fun. I'm pretty excited about that. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Really hope you had fun. Let me know how you felt. Please follow me if you like this kind of stuff. We really appreciate a follow. All my social media handles are exactly the same, Paul Mossy Hanton. If you missed this stream if you missed this on the Twitch, it's always going to be on the YouTube page. I'm going to try to keep everything updated on Instagram and all those other social media, whatever social media you kids are using these days. It's like a new one every damn week, I swear. Whatever social media this ends up on, do whatever you do on that social media to help, because it's not necessarily always going to be follows and likes and comments. Who knows what the future of social media is going to be. But really appreciate the support. Really love being here with everybody and doing this. This is a lot of fun. So anyway, very, 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 very happy that everyone could make it. I will be back tomorrow for well, I guess technically today now, just past midnight. Here in we're in California, Pacific time here, in the United States. Tomorrow is going to be Photography Friday night, which is just in-game photography in Fallout 76, one of my favorite games. I just lost everyone's respect. There's a thing, if you're not familiar, Fallout 76 is not a well-regarded game, but it is like my favorite game of all time, and it's the weirdest thing. Let's do a whole video about that. Blake, my buddy Blake, sent me a video of Hassan, and he's like, and it's like he says like I didn't watch that stream, but it was a clip of Hassan like watching somebody talking about gaming, and he pauses and he's like, the guy just fucking said Fallout 76 is a good game. What the fuck? Okay, nothing you will ever say will ever mean anything to me now. Like, that's the level of animosity towards this game. But it's like, I don't understand that, but whatever. I love it. Anyway, tomorrow we're going to be doing in-game photography in that game. It's really cool, in my opinion. Check it out if you're available. I mean, it's Friday, so why are you going to be home? But check it out regardless. So that'll be around tomorrow. Maybe we'll make this a Thursday thing. The dates, the exact weekdays that each one of these segments happen, that's all work in progress. Things are going to change. Maybe this is going to be Mondays, or like maybe we'll do screenplay Saturdays or screenplay Sundays. I don't know. We'll do something fun with the wording so that it's more approachable or whatever. But this isn't necessarily going to be a Thursday thing, but I would hope to do something like this once a week or once every other week or something like that, a couple times a month, to get this done. Because I really do. If nothing else, I think I'm going to challenge myself to try to just finish this screenplay on a stream regardless. At least the screenplay again. Maybe, again, we might not get into the full production of the entire film, but at least let's get the screenplay written on this and have that accomplished and have that be at least a full completed series. I think would be really cool. So if you are interested in this, follow the channel. We will be doing this again. And tomorrow again, Photography Fridays. That should be fun. It's just goofing off in game, taking pictures. Yeah, really appreciate you guys' time. Love yourself, love others, love life, and I will see you all soon. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you. Love you. Bye.